Fudo Nomura thought he was just transferring schools. He didn't realize he was signing up for a survival game where the girls run the place. Welcome to Private Aichi Academy, where the female student council, the 5 ruling swords, believe in keeping the boys in line with a little disciplinary violence. Nomura, being the rebellious loner type, immediately ends up on the bad side of Rin Onigawara, their leader. Now he's stuck between getting kicked out of the only school that would even accept him or somehow surviving a daily beatdown from 5 elite warrior girls who seriously don't mess around. Nomura's first day at his new school is a lot. It kicks off with Rin heading into a super serious 5 swords meeting while Nomura's just stepping onto the school grounds, reminiscing about how he wrecked shop back at his last school. Like 40 students down kind of wrecked. Not that he got off easy, he got beat up the worst. So yeah, maybe he's not your average transfer student. But Nomura rolls in and instantly realizes every girl on campus is armed. Like swords, spears, the whole shebang. This place isn't just any school, it's practically a samurai-themed prison with cute uniforms. And guess what? It's run by the infamous Supreme 5 Swords, Rin, Mary, Warabi, Satori, and Suguyo. These girls don't mess around. They're having a little meeting about how to handle Nomura when Kiru, aka the girl who broke Nomura at his last school, crashes the party. She warns them that Nomura's got a move called the Magic Bullet, and no, it's not a card trick. Meanwhile, Nomura bumps into Masukodera, who looks like he walked off a runway for cross-dressing monks. Nomura, ever the tactful guy, first calls him a Buddha, then a pig. Masuko is not amused, but explains that guys at this school have to dress like that to keep the peace with the battle-ready girls. Nomura, totally unfazed. He just wants peace. Cut to Onigawara ominously telling her posse that homeroom is about to get real interesting. And boy does it. Nomura walks into his classroom and immediately finds several swords aimed at his face. Welcome, transfer student. Onigawara lays it all out. Follow the school's coexistence rules or get out. Nomura, of course, chooses option C now. She promises to correct him before homeroom ends, which sounds like a euphemism for slice him up. But Nomura's not sticking around for that. He pulls off a flashy move called Shimmering Cloud, zips across the room, casually flashes someone's underwear color to cause a distraction, and dives out the window. Smooth, Onigawara chases after him, and he hits her with the classic, "Hey, can I leave the school if I want to?" Nope. Turns out you need permission from all 5 of the sword squad. Cue the sword fight. Onigawara starts showing off her super old school martial arts moves, like Hazen Dragon's Tail, while Nomura dodges like a ninja. The other swords are watching the action like it's pay-per-view, all impressed with their new problem child. Nomura eventually pulls out blade-proof gloves and starts throwing hands back. Then, just when it looks like he might be outmatched, Nomura trips on a tree root, but somehow rolls with it. Onigawara tries to land the finishing move, but Nomura slips in close and touches her side, earning himself a "Congrats, you touched me. Now prepare to die." But Nomura plays his trump card, the Magic Bullet. He zaps her with it, stunning her and shocking everyone except Amao, who's probably just eating popcorn somewhere. Nomura explains the Magic Bullet is actually a hacked version of a famous, but kinda broken sword technique. He then tries to grill Onigawara on how she knows the technique's real name, but before she can answer, Mozunono, Onigawara's super loyal sidekick, smacks Nomura on the head with a surprise sneak attack. In the chaos, Nomura accidentally kisses Onigawara, busting her mask and both their brains. He immediately jumps back, yelling that it was Mozunono's fault, but Onigawara is already picking up her sword again with one goal, castration. Yes, you read that right. Enter Kikakujo, another one of the elite 5 sword, strutting in with her so loyal sidekick Choka. These two are fired up and totally convinced they're going to correct Nomura in no time. Mozunono and Choka, instant enemies. Cut to Nomura, who's busy pestering Masuko about how to escape this school-shaped war zone. Masuko tells him he needs all 5 stamps from the 5 swords plus a certificate, yeah, the one Onigawara keeps, because of course she does. Nomura groans, already regretting his Kiss and Chaos debut. Then comes the real surprise. Masuko's somehow been smuggling luxury goods into the dorms, despite looking like he ate a gym. Turns out there's a mysterious contraband dealer in the mix. The next day, Nomura's basically a walking headline. He strolls into class, munching on black market pastries, while classmates whisper about him kissing girls when they let their guard down. Then he casually outs Saki's underwear color like it's roll call. Everyone gasps, especially Saki. When he asks where Onigawara is, Ui class mood manager steps in and scolds him for being soem. She tells him Onigawara's down with a fever from the shock of being defeated. Also, She drops her underwear color without hesitation, leaving Saki mortified. Nomura's already halfway out the door to pay Onigawara a visit. Masuko totally saw that coming. Meanwhile, Onigawara's lying in bed, dreaming of her childhood, wearing her trademark demon mask. She wakes up sweaty, angry, and flustered, mostly angry. She starts verbally punching a pillow while listing all the reasons she wants to strangle Nomura, calling him a pervert, a loudmouth, and a total playboy. But then she suddenly softens, thinking about the kiss, wondering if maybe he should have been grateful to kiss her. And just like that, she's angry again. Sensing someone nearby, she grabs her 8-sun sword and her half-broken mask. The window bursts open because doors are too mainstream, and Nomura drops in with cake and zero shame. He blocks her hand before she can draw the sword and says, "Hey, I'm just here for a sick visit." Then, to make things even worse, he calls her cute without the mask and says he got lucky with that kiss. She turns into a full tomato. But when he asks for the certificate, hard no. Still, Nomura cheekily compliments her again, wondering aloud what she looks like in casual wear, which cracks her resolve a little. Almost enough to hand over the certificate until he suggests she toss in a few more kisses. And that's it, her fever spikes, and she faints. Nomura rushes forward to catch her, but in doing so, he accidentally pops a button off her top. Cue exposed boobs and perfect timing. Mozunono barges in. She sees it. She loses it. She hits the trap button. Suddenly, Nomura's running for his life through a maze of dorm traps, all while Mozunono's screaming about castration again. He makes it outside but runs into Choka, who declares it's her turn to punish him. She calls herself Regina de la Farfalla and says she's the head of the junior 5 swords. Mozunono joins the showdown, calling her Yuchoka, and then diving into a weird explanation about her name. Basically, she's Japanese. Her name's a syllable shuffle, and she's real mad about it. Nomura's like, okay, bring it. He puts on his gloves and blocks Mozunono's strike like a pro. Then Choka joins in with her whip, and Nomura figures out this is a level 2 correction, double the pain. Supposedly impossible to survive. Only a mouse lived through it. The girls can't coordinate to save their lives, though. Their tag team sucks. Finally, Mozunono uses water force and Choka whips, but Nomura flips the script, tangling them together like tangled earbuds. He scolds them mid-fight and zaps Mozunono with his magic bullet again. Both girls tear up. Audience? Completely glued. On the roof, Satori's watching like it's her favorite soap opera, trying to figure out what this magic bullet even is. She bets Inaba might be able to hear what it does, and she's already sure Mary won't let Nomura get away with hitting Choka. Later, Nomura's moping about not getting the certificate until Onigawara shows up and just gives it to him, muttering something flustered. He thanks her, tells her to get back to class, and walks away. She stays behind, only to be told by Uensaki that Mozunono got wrecked. Rage mode, trigger. She faints again. And finally, in some vaguely dominatrix-y punishment scene, Mary scolding Choka and declaring war on Nomura. Next day at school, Nomura walks in, and it's like he's got the plague. Students duck, cover, and whisper that he might get someone pregnant just by standing too close. Even Masuko's disgusted. Onigawara shows up, looking like she wants blood, and coldly announces that she's now his supervisor. Everyone's jaws hit the floor. Meanwhile, somewhere fancier, Mary Kikakujo is trying to enjoy a peaceful dinner, but Shuka barges in with an update. Nomura is now under Onigawara's watch. Mary nearly chokes on her food. She was gearing up to dish out her own special brand of correction, and now Onigawara scooped her. Not on her watch. Back in the dorms, Nomura is chilling with Masuko, casually flipping through some very adult manga, while Masuko munches away. He warns Nomura that Mary is not someone you want to mess with. Sure, Onigawara wants to toss out the bad kids, but Mary likes to corner them and break their spirits with class. Still, both girls share one humbling experience. They were effortlessly flattened by the Empress herself. Nomura suddenly tenses up, flashing back to a fight he had with some mysterious, terrifying fighter. And yup, he remembers now. The Empress used the exact same weapon as the one who handed him his defeat. The next morning, Onigawara turns into the world's grumpiest alarm clock, yanking Nomura out of bed and waiting outside his dorm. She makes it clear she knows what really went down with Mozunono and Choka. Still, to keep order, she's going to supervise him anyway. She rifles through his bag and finds it suspiciously clean, like too clean. But before anything else can go down, Mary and Shuka show up like angry fashion police. Mary starts trash, talking Onigawara for being too soft. Onigawara bites back, spilling the truth about what actually happened. But Mary? She's not buying it. And to make things worse, She stumbles through her Japanese, since she's half French, and hilariously declares war with her barely held together grammar. She then accuses Onigawara of acting weird ever since her kiss with Nomura, which instantly turns Onigawara into a flustered mess. Blushing like a schoolgirl, she tells Nomura to go on ahead because she and Mary need to have a girl talk. Spoiler, it's less talking, more dueling. Onigawara tells Mary to back off. Nomura belongs to her. Mary laughs that off and challenges her to settle things the old-fashioned way, a sword fight. She sends Choka to go stall Nomura while she slices up Onigawara. Elsewhere, Nomura's trying to go about his business, but Choka shows up with her trusty whip. Too bad he catches it midair with his belt. Stylish. Things take a weird turn when Choka accidentally glances at his banana, yep, that banana, and just straight up faints. Meanwhile, Onigawara catches a glimpse of someone on a rooftop. It's the Empress. Or is it? Nomura can't tell if she's the same girl who beat him to a pulp before. But before he can act, Mary swoops in and accidentally catches a glimpse of his banana too. She screams in horror as the Empress just pieces out without saying a word. Later, the Empress has a meltdown because she didn't take the chance to finish Nomura off and destroys a poor Buddha statue out of frustration. Back to Mary vs. Nomura, the main event. She lands a clean hit, stabbing his hand with her rapier, all while dancing around with fancy footwork that's half French fencing, half Japanese swordplay. She's fast, precise, and annoying. Her attacks target nerve clusters, making Nomura flinch like he's got a bee in his shirt. She's clearly trying to break him down mentally and physically. And it almost works until Nomura pulls out his secret weapon, a manga magazine. Turns out he had it tucked under his shirt, and it blocked her finishing blow. He bonks her on the head with it, yes, really, closes the distance, and fires off his magic bullet. But instead of admitting defeat gracefully, Mary assumes the worst. You're going to assault me now, aren't you? She shrieks. Nomura, unfazed, basically says, no thanks. Then, in a final, desperate move, she demands he fondle her chest. Nomura refuses again, because that's not how he rolls. She tries tempting him by stuffing the victory stamp between her boobs, daring him to come get it. He almost does, but resists. Mary? Completely flabbergasted. Cue Onigawara showing up, seeing the scene, and punching Nomura into next week. Mary stops her and explains that, despite everything, Nomura didn't lay a finger on her. She figures he's not into Onigawara either. So what gives? Still, she gives him the stamp and announces she'll be joining Onigawara in the Great Nomura Supervision Squad, because clearly, one supervisor just isn't enough for this guy. The Five Swords girls are really out here acting like Nomura's babysitters from hell, but they say it's their duty to keep him in check. Nomura, on the other hand, is completely over it. He's exhausted, fed up, and blurts out that these girls keep flashing him. That, naturally, sets them off even more. Meanwhile, chaos is brewing elsewhere. Warabi Hanasaka is finally back from her vacation in Hawaii, and the moment she lands, she sniffs drama in the air. She immediately notices that both Onigawara and Mary are getting a little too cozy with Nomura. And Warabi? She's not here for friendships with the enemy. Wasting no time, she calls a serious council meeting, but it's less diplomacy and more let's burn it all down. She drops the bomb. Both Onigawara and Mary are now officially on the correction list for getting chummy with the correction target. Warabi even announces that she'll handle their punishment herself, because clearly, she's the only one dramatic enough to do it right. She turns to the ever-chill Satori Suiren and asks for her take. Satori's response? The opinion of a senior member matters more than votes. Translation: Warabi's in charge now. Their silent, spooky member, Inaba, doesn't even show up, so Warabi kicks off what she calls the Festival of Blood. Then, Master Masuko Kadera tied to a pole in the courtyard like some ancient criminal, surrounded by students filming with their phones. Nomura spots him and bolts in like a hero to rescue his manga buddy, but Onigawara and Mary block him. That's when Warabi pops up, standing dramatically on a rooftop like a villain about to drop a fire mixtape. She declares the launch of the Warimpics, a twisted school-wide sports festival from her deranged mind. And guess who's the main event? You guessed it, Nomura? Apparently, Master Kadera's only crime was sneaking contraband into school. And now Nomura has to complete a gauntlet of wild games to save him. If he makes it through, Warabi will even throw in her personal permission stamp. Nomura, enticed by the deal and probably bored, accepts. Warabi summons her elite squad, the Hanasaka Musketeers, Tokaku Tanihira, Tsunemi Toko, and Nico Shirari. These are third-year monsters. And now, even Mary and Onigawara are roped into the Warimpics. Why? Because apparently showing affection to Nomura makes them traitors. Yeah, this school's priorities are quite unique. The first game kicks off, Raging Sumo. Nomura is hyped, thinking it's just big guys pushing each other around. Onigawara, though, warns him that Warabi's games are straight-up war crimes. Case in point, her infamous bucket relay, where someone had to carry a flaming torch on their back while others passed buckets of gasoline. That fun little game ended up torching half the school. Back to Sumo, everyone's handed a traditional masashi, and it's dressing time. Nomura gets his on without a hitch, but helping Onigawara? Whole different story. She's beet red, flustered, and barely holding it together while he helps tie her belt. He tells her to sit down like you're on a bench so he can tighten it, and it's about the most awkward 5 minutes of her life. Mary watches the whole thing, blushing so hard she looks sunburnt. When Nomura helps her next, he does it so quickly, she gets irrationally mad like, why did she get the deluxe service and I got express checkout? Then, the real madness begins. Nomura steps into the sumo ring, ready to throw down until Warabi introduces his opponent, a literal bear. Yup, a huge, furry, angry bear named Kobo. Onigawara shouts that it's totally illegal to pit a human against a bear, but Warabi just shrugs and says, if one of you beats him, you all pass. Classic Warabi logic.